As you crest the top of Millennium Force's lift hill, you dive down your 300-foot, 80-degree drop and reach your max speed of 93 miles per hour. You then soar through a 122-foot-tall overbank curve that is very intense. After bottoming out, you turn to the left and enter your first of 2 tunnels. That then sends you up into a very large airtime hill with some mild floater airtime at the top. After getting that airtime, you bottom out and fly into your middle section of the ride, which consists of 2 low-to-the-ground overbank curves. These are not intense by any means, but they are still fun since you are still traveling at a very high speed. And did I mention that this part of the ride is going through a pretty deep forest, so it is very fun just flying through the trees. After that, you then rise up into your second large floater airtime hill. After that, you then drop into another left-handed turn that resides inside of a tunnel. Then you enter this coaster's fantastic finale, a low-to-the-ground speed hill that resides right next to the queue line, and then an overbank that sends you right into the brake run. This is an awesome way to end out your amazing ride. Millennium Force is a steel Giga roller coaster that opened at Cedar Point in 2000. Manufactured by Intamin Amusement Rides, this was the world's tallest full-circuit roller coaster with a height of 310 feet. It was also the fastest and steepest full-circuit roller coaster at the time of its opening. Now let's move on to our first category, presentation. Millennium Force is located in the Millennium Midway section of Cedar Point. This is on the left side of the park, and since you can see this coaster from anywhere, it is very easy to navigate over to this ride's entrance, so you will not get lost on the way. Now that we've made it over to the coaster, you're obviously going to want to ride, so after passing a very large Millennium Force sign, you enter the queue line, and as soon as you enter the queue, you're basically in a humongous cattle pen. I understand why it's here, because this coaster can get absolutely ridiculous wait times, and I can only imagine what it was like back in its opening season. After this, I can't really comment on the queue line, since both times I was at Cedar Point, I had Fastlane Plus, so I actually didn't even wait in the regular queue. But from what I saw, it had a few canopies shading its riders, and it didn't have any theming, at least from what I could see. Then you make it to the station. Despite the station being rather old and sort of outdated, it is one of the best parts of the entire experience, cause they play an incredible soundtrack that is actually being used for the background music for this video. But throughout the entire experience, Millennium Force is surrounded by trees and features 2 tunnels. It also looks amazing with its blue track and whitish gray supports, so I think I'd be crazy to give it anything other than a 10 out of 10 for presentation. Now it's time for our next category, the ride experience. Unlike most roller coasters, the lift hill on Millennium Force is actually awesome. First of all, it is very fast. You rise 310 feet in just about 33 seconds, according to the official Cedar Point POV, and after doing some math, I figured out that that is about 9.5 feet per second. Next, you have an amazing view of Cedar Point to your right, and an even better view of Lake Erie off to your left. After the lift hill, you have an awesome, fast-paced layout. Some people say that there's a rattle to Millennium Force. I did not experience that, even in the back row. Also, even though the middle section is a little dull, it's still very fun. I don't understand the hate that this coaster gets in any way, shape, or form. I actually love it, but I will touch more on that at the end of the video. Now it's the thing that is almost universally loved about Millennium Force, the trains. They are very open. They have no sides to them, and they feature the amazing restraint of the Intamin T-bar. This is a very minimal restraint, especially when you're traveling at 93 miles per hour. For ride experience, Millennium Force will be receiving a 9.5 out of 10. I just wish that they could have done something different with that middle section, but as you can tell, it doesn't take that much away from the ride. And now it's time for our most straightforward category, the length. Millennium Force is one of the world's longest roller coasters with a track length of 6,595 feet of track. This feels like a very long ride, and it definitely is, with a duration of 2 minutes and 20 seconds. This is a super long duration, especially when you consider that you are traveling at 93 miles per hour. And yep, you guessed it, Millennium Force will be receiving a 10 for this category. Now it's time for our final category, the fun factor. Fun factor is really what I rank rides off of. Millennium Force doesn't really have any outstanding elements, well besides that first drop. The rest of the ride consists of a few airtime hills and a bunch of overbanked turns, and it is just so much fun. I'm not sure what it is, but a fun coaster is unbeatable, especially when you're traveling 93 miles per hour in the front row. Now, before I give a final score, I just want to go over some of my overall thoughts on the ride. Millennium Force is an absolutely outstanding roller coaster that provides a fun, smooth, and amazing experience. I don't understand why this coaster gets any hate. In fact, I don't think it deserves one bit of it, especially when you consider that it opened all the way back in 2000. Now it's time for Millennium Force's final score. It will be receiving a 4 out of 10. Just kidding. Its actual score is a 10. Millennium Force is one of the world's greatest roller coasters. I don't care who says what. Maybe it doesn't deserve the title as the best steel roller coaster in the world, but it certainly is up there. Anyways, that'll wrap up my review on Millennium Force at Cedar Point. Let me know what you think of this coaster in the comments down below. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you guys next time on Hang Time Thrills.
Wow.